recovered 70% of our lost GDP after that crashed. Wait. How does that stack up against the competition? It's an international football game. How are we doing against the competition? Germany's got 60% back. Japan got 50% back. Great Britain got 30% back. So we're beating the competition. That is not cause for applause, but it ought to give people pause before they go back to the team that dug the hole, who will get in there with their shovels again. It's enough to make you think. So, what should we do now? I think there are 4 things we have to do now. We've got to have more jobs, we've got to finance them, we've got to educate and train people to do them, and then we've got to do something about this debt loan. Okay? All right. So then, who's more likely to do it? This is all that matters. Simple, basic stuff. So let's look at this. Who's more likely to do it? First, look at the job. We know we're going to have job growth when we come back to the country. In small business, manufacturing, green energy, technology, and infrastructure. That's where the jobs are. Okay? So, he voted for the stimulus. The stimulus, the Republicans say it was a failure. His opponent says it was a failure, even though I read somewhere that his own son got a job from a project. Most people who think their kids go to college think it's a success when their kids get a job, but he's entitled to his opinion. So, what are the facts? The facts are that every independent study says that stimulus created more jobs than it was projected to do. That there are 3 million people working who would not be working had it not been for that. And the unemployment rate is 2% lower than it otherwise would be. They want the Republicans to cancel the rest of the stimulus, which is the green jobs portion, not yet finished. Thousands upon thousands upon thousands of jobs. They would give up our leadership in the race for a clean energy future, a leadership to save the planet and make America #1 economically again. This is a clear choice. You want more jobs? You got to vote for the congressman here. If they hire new jobs in new manufacturing industries with clean energy, that gives loan guarantees and credit lines for small business, a direct lending facility for the Small Business Administration, amazing things. And this guy was leading the way on this. Small business can't get any credit now. You bailed out the banks. They are going to pay 92% of the money back, but they got the money. Did you know there is $1.8 trillion in America's banks today uncommitted to loans? That's more than enough money to get us out of this mess. They can loan $10 for every dollar they got in and not get in any trouble like the Wall Street got. So we got to loosen up that money. He's actually done things to do that. What does his opponent say? All that's a waste of time and money. All you really need to do is make permanent the temporary tax cuts for the wealthiest Americans. Let me tell you something. I know something about this. I studied this. And I'll get it. I love saying this. I never had a nickel to my name until I got out of the White House. So I'll get a lot of money if the Republican position prevails. And let me tell you about that. I never thought I'd have any money. I never cared about it. I'm a middle-class guy whose family worked their way into the middle class from something considerably less. And so when I got this money, I don't feel entitled to be exempted from my responsibilities as a citizen. Here's what I know about the economics. The single most inefficient thing you can do if you're trying to grow jobs is to give the wealthiest Americans a big tax cut because we can't spend it all. This is just economics now. I'm not talking about, never mind the ethics of it and all that. We can't spend it. On the other hand, if you give small business a tax break every time they hire somebody, if you give investment incentives to move manufacturing jobs back to America, if you give families tax credits to send their kids to college, all those things give you more